Full pads. How'd you like the intensity you saw from the guys?
Actually, secondary full pads. We ramped it up on Saturday and got some good work done. But today was the first day to do some live work. So day 4, we did 2 periods of live, one in the beginning, and then finished practice with what we call a rapid fire drill, live drill. So it was good to see them, really put it all together. We've got a lot going on. We've got a lot of installation. We've got a lot of corrections that we're making, but I'm pleased with them. This has been good work, great work ethic. The guys got great energy coming out here. And as I said the other day, we're a good-looking team. We've got a few guys that, especially at corner right now, that are banged up, trying to Booth's getting better, waiting on him. DK kind of strained his hand, so he was out today. Mario's, we're nursing his ankle. Hopefully we'll take it slow with him the first half. Hopefully he'll be ready to go for everything for the second half or sooner. And so we've been a little banged up there, but it's been good. You guys showing up today. A few guys flashed, and a few guys that I was hoping I would see make some improvement. I'm seeing that.
The limited time you've gotten with the guys, and you mentioned some of the guys that flashed. You mentioned some of the guys that stood out to you.
Yeah, I think just Saturday, for example, I thought Jordan Williams probably had his best practice that I've seen him have since he's been in Clemson. And it's amazing what a little competition will do. He really, was a guy to me that jumped out, and just really pleased with some of the guys that I've seen in the secondary at safety. We've got some guys that are moving around very, very well right there. I think Mike Jones is a guy that's doing a nice job. He's getting a lot of work. All those young guys I'm incredibly pleased with them. Now that second group of offensive line guys, we got a long way to go there. Just mentally learning how, they just got a lot going on, and then, we see 52 blitzes every day in practice, so it's not like we're patient on defense for the second OL. So there's a lot going on, but it's good for them. That's what makes us better. But all those guys in that mid-year group are doing a tremendous job. Pleased with BT hadn't missed a kick. He hadn't missed a single kick in 4 days. So he's off to a great start, as is Will Spires. He's doing a nice job. Jack Maddox stepping in there, doing a nice job of snapper for us. So we got a good group. Moved Taquan. It's been fun to watch Taquan over there. He's fundamentally learning, what to do, footwork, obviously learning the plays, but you just immediately see his power, especially when we do some of our competitive drills where it's really not much scheme involved. It's just, can you move a guy? And so I'm pretty pleased with Taquan as well.
Speaking of BT, I guess the MLS was listening when you were hyping Tanner Tessman.
Yeah.
I guess the situation with him,
he kept my mouth shut.
He could come back at some point in the future, though, once his pro career ends, right?
He could. Yeah, he could.
Did.
He can't play soccer till he's 40, but you can kick a football till you're 40 or longer. Those guys, but I'm happy for him. That's pretty amazing what and he played his first ever. He started in his first ever MLS game Saturday night. I think they played Philly, and he was the MVP of the game. Played 90 minutes, played every minute, or whatever you call it, man of the match, or whatever the term is. But he was. So, it's pretty special. He's been working since he was in diapers, to be a pro. And, the culture of soccer is a little different from a lot of these other sports. And very few people get the opportunity to go be a pro, right out of school. And he's young. And the other thing is he's really smart. My big thing was, I just want to see him get his education, as does his parents. But he's a really smart kid. He's done great in school, at high school, even though he's, here and there, and he's had to do a lot on his own. But he'll get his degree. He'll work toward it. But yeah, who knows? His ultimate goal is to get to Europe, and that's probably like being a first-round pick in NFL or something. I guess getting to Europe. I don't know much about it, but. So we'll see. But yeah, who knows? Down the road, if doesn't go the way he wants, he certainly and always have that opportunity if he ever wanted to do that. But he's got a one-track mind right now, as he should, and we're excited for him, and pretty special opportunity that he's got.
Behind BT, I guess you got
Jonathan Whites, so Jonathan Whites, who we brought in last year, he was a preferred walk-on guy for us. So those two, he's off to a great start too. He's missed one kick, so both those guys are doing well, and then we'll probably bring another walk-on in the fall, but we'll have a tryout. We'll have a few guys. We had one kid we wanted to bring out in the spring, but academically he wasn't quite where he needed to be for us to bring him out. So. Pretty pleased with what those guys are doing, and then Aiden is actually worked himself into he's a pretty good kicker, we're fortunately we got guys that can hold left or right. He got a lot of work last year, and especially in kickoff. Aiden would be our second kickoff guy for sure. A very strong leg.
Could you talk about your former players in the combine right now?
Well, they've all done well. I've kept up with them, tried to communicate with them all week and encourage them. I'm really proud of them. They all did, what I thought they'd do. And for some reason, I think some people didn't think maybe AJ could run or something like that. And I'm like, no, he can run. And so he really helped himself. Obviously, T's ham wasn't quite where it needed to be, but he'll be ready to go here soon. And he's going to do great, but I think they all did well in their interviews. Anchorman Simpson did a nice job, and certainly Kayvon's Kayvon. I think he crushed it. Reese ran. I think they upgraded him to a 4.41. I think that's what they were telling me in the staff room. But not surprised with that. And then Isaiah is what we all know. He's just a freak. He's one of the most unique talents you'll ever see. And him coming back and having that fourth year to really develop, he probably would have been a second-round pick last year. And him coming back and really just becoming a more complete player it's amazing what he's been able to do. So I'm excited for all of them, and look forward to seeing him here. I guess next week they'll be rolling back into town for our pro day.
Are any of these mid-years beginning to flash a little bit?
I'll be honest with you, they've all flashed to me. The second OL, that's a hard position to play, especially when you're going against our defense. But I love what I see in those young guys, 3 new guys that are here. They're exactly what we hoped they'd be. But they got a little more to learn. But just again, watching them in a couple of our competitive drills, pretty impressed with them. And I put Taquan in that group too, because obviously he's just moving over. But I think we got a good group. But those D linemen, you can't help but notice them. They just Fred out there at corner is a great looking athlete. EJ, he's smooth as silk, and we got to get bigger and stronger and all that, which we all know. But just he's got a lot to learn. They're all what we thought. DJ, he's all those guys, man. We just knocked it out of the park with that whole group. Sage Ennis, man, he is physical, and he's got a mentality that you love. He really jumped out at me today watching him in the drill work. Kate and Brzee and Miles Murphy, you can't help but notice them. Those 3 linebackers, you can't help but notice them. Tyler Venables, Mickens, you just notice them. It's just a good-looking young group of talent that just got here that, I think we hit on all of them. They all got ways to go to be, functional players, but we're off to a good start with that group.
You mentioned the 3 defensive linemen. It seems like they're just, for their age, for their size, they're just huge.
They are. They're big and just they're athletic, big and physical. Got a lot to learn, but they just have natural gifts, and those guys have played ball a long time. They're all at different places, kind of developmentally, but those guys are as advertised. They're really, really talented, and that's our job to teach them, and we got a lot to teach. But I love their humility. I love their eagerness to learn, their eagerness to be coached, and just kind of how they're just jumping in line and coming to work every day.
How much of a luxury is Brazil's versatility? Seems like he could be, if you needed to, move him around like Wilkins did.
Yeah, he eventually, when he learns how to play and learns the system, and when he, until you really know what you're doing, it's hard to really be the best version of yourself. So he's just trying to kind of learn right now, but in due time, at some time, he's definitely a guy that I'll throw a pass to, hand it to, play special teams, play 3 technique, play those. Could probably get by with him, playing some end if we had to. So I think as he goes through his career and really grows, there's a lot that you can do with him. The other guy I'll call out is James Skowski. Wow, is he off to a good start, man? He's a really good football player.
Speaking of the ends, what about Xavier Thomas? What do you need to see out of him this year?
Just consistency, just consistency really in everything he does, and he's off to a really good start. I love the look in his eye. I like his focus, his demeanor. He's just a little more mature. Sometimes you got to be exposed a little bit. You don't know what you don't know, and some of these guys, they have all the tools and they certainly look the part, but you got to understand they're just young people, and you have and then you have high expectations and all these external factors and so forth, and we forget that they're just young people. And as a freshman, he's just kind of running around, happy-go-lucky, and not a lot of pressure on him because Clee's there and Austin's there, and they